Alright, welcome back to my channel. This is Segregated Facial Hair, and you're watching Don't Starve Hamlet this time. I adore the Don't Starve series of games. I've played this one, all of the expansions, as well as Don't Starve Together, and I'm such a big fan. I've been a fan of basically everything Klei has ever made, and this is no exception to that rule. So I am excited to play Hamlet again, revisit some Don't Starve, and see where the series takes us. A quick disclaimer before we get into it. I am awful at Don't Starve. Never been good at it. I'm not good at any games. That's my shtick, but I'm extra awful at Don't Starve. I think the longest I ever survived in the almost 500 hours I have combined between the two games was 100 days. So yeah, this will be a journey. Let's see how we do. And usually when I've been playing Hamlet so far, I've been using some of the Hamlet specific characters. However, I think I am going to play with Wendy this time. I always loved Wendy a lot when I would play the regular Don't Starve. Wendy's just always been my favorite. I love the whole Abigail dynamic she has. So I'm going to play with Wendy this time, and we'll see if maybe Wendy can help me survive in Hamlet. Since I got the Hamlet expansion, I have not done very well on Hamlet. I don't think I think the longest I've survived so far while I've been playing in Hamlet is like maybe 30 days. So hopefully this will be my lucky day, and this time we'll finally make some progress. But we'll have to see. Because Hamlet's still pretty new, I don't know a lot about it. And I'm trying to do my best to not look things up. That's obviously not completely possible, but I'm doing what I can without having to research. This is a very long loading screen. I don't know if it's just my computer, but I've noticed that Hamlet worlds take forever to generate compared to the regular Don't Starve worlds. So, oh, music stops. That's hopefully a good sound. I also just have an awful computer, which I'm sure does not help with these loading times. Luckily, once the world loads, there's not a whole lot of loading screens to sit through. And here we are. Could have let the chameleon speak, but it took us forever to get here, so. Alright, so for those of you who don't really know much about Don't Starve, maybe haven't seen it, or haven't seen Hamlet at all, Don't Starve is a survival game. I suppose you could call it a sandbox type of game as well. It has its own crafting system, which you see over here. It's got a variety of biomes and resources that all serve different purposes within the game. And over here you've got, oh, for the record, I am playing Don't Starve with mods on. None of my mods give an incredible easy overhaul to the game or anything, but I have the mini-map up here, which is not normally part of the game, and I have the always on status, which you're seeing over here. Normally these are just the icons, you don't get to see the status, but I like to see that. So But yeah, so this is a survival game. You have a hunger mechanic, a sanity mechanic, and then your regular health. And with the always on status, it gives you the status of Krampus. I believe that's what that is. So if I were to kill a bunny, for example, let's try to kill a bunny. They're not the easiest to kill without Abigail just because they run. But there we go. Yep, so if you notice that number went up, that is your Krampus counter. And I'm not going to talk a lot about Krampus, but we probably won't end up seeing him. Oops. Yeah, okay, he's upset. And then over here is the temperature, because there are seasons and weather mechanics in Don't Starve. And for anyone who's new to Hamlet, but familiar with the Don't Starve world in general, that big gorilla thing that you just saw attacking me that is the replacement for our regular old spiders. So instead of those small little guys that were pretty easy to take on, we now have giant, I think they're called spider monkeys. That would make sense. And those are still the most reliable way to get any silk. I have not had a lot of luck getting silk so far in Hamlet because of that exact reason. And if you're wondering what that guy is, he is like a thunderbird, I think is what they're called. And they guard little nests of iron. And iron is a new resource in Hamlet, and it is incredibly useful for a lot of different tools. So they will attack you if you get too close to the nest. Also, if you look over towards the left a little bit, I don't want to get too close or anything, there are poisoned rainforest biomes. And if I step on that, I will receive a poison debuff. So we're not going to get anywhere near that. And those suck. It's way too easy to run into them when you're just running around at night trying to escape from something else. So the way I play Hamlet is that I choose to live in the Hamlet. You know, that's the game mechanic they give to us. It seems logical, right? That's where you should ideally try to hang out. Also, these are giant walking vine things. I don't remember what they're called, but they're pretty intimidating. You can outrun them pretty easily, though. And they'll pick fights with a lot of other things, so they can actually be pretty useful. You can get them and the spider monkeys to pick on each other. But yeah, so I like to live in the pig village, the Hamlet. And that's how I spend my first few days of the game, is just looking around for the Hamlet until I find it. I don't usually play Don't Starve with the music on, just because I'll listen to my own music or YouTube or something in the background. I forget how creepy the music is while you're in the forests. And I believe Hamlet is still in its early stages. I believe there's still content being produced for it and, bug fixes. At least last time I looked into it, it was still in those early stages. So, at any point, if there are any, bugs or if things seem unbalanced, that would be why. Klei tends to release content in sort of early access and fix it with help from the community over time. Which is something I've always loved about Klei as a company. Oh, so if you see this new looking biome we just landed on with this weird grass texture, that means we are in the outskirts of a village. Okay, we have found the relic thing. I'm just going to leave it there for now because I don't have the inventory space nor interest in dealing with it. So the issue with the village is that if I try to pick this grass, that guard will attack me. Same with these berries. However, and I think we just found the village. There are a lot of positives to living in the village, which is why that's what I tend to do. First of all, we'll see it later, but you get a house, which is neat. You get protection from the pig guards when, like, this game's variant of the hounds come to attack you. I think it's battalists that attack you instead of hounds. And then, not only do you get a house, there are different villagers walking around that you can trade with to get gold. And there are little stores. Like the Mud Spa sells a bunch of healing items. And I'm going to really quickly see if an exploit is still working or not. I also never was very good at the exploits, so we'll see. No, it doesn't. For a while in the game, you could wait until nightfall and enter. You can't enter a store once night hits. Like right now, I can't enter it anymore. So you have to. So if at sunset you would be in the store and it would hit nighttime, you could. The NPC inside the store would fall asleep, and you could steal their items for free. I never knew if that was an exploit or an intentional part of the game, and I'm still not totally sure. And as you can see, when you live in the pig village, you don't really have to worry about darkness nearly as much as you did in the regular games, because there are light posts. And this is a really good world spawn because all of these hedges, if you see this hedge, looks a lot fuzzier and more overgrown. With a little bit of iron, we'll need a little bit more than I have, you can craft a clipper. And you can clip if you pick up the poop from the pigs, they'll pay you gold. But you can clip these overgrown hedges, and you can sell them to, I think, these ladies actually, the blonde ladies. And they will give you 1 gold per clipping, and you end up making a ton of gold if you have enough hedges. So that's exciting. Glad we have a nice spawn for those. And again, there are a lot of stores. You can buy food and different like crops. You can buy seeds from another store. There is this general store around that sells gold pieces, I believe, occasionally. It'll sell a lot of useful little things. So living in the village, finding ways to make gold and make a lot of it can be really helpful. Like you can buy a shovel, fishing rods, and being able to buy like the fishing rod and the net are really useful because those spider monkeys terrify me. I haven't found where our house would be yet, but this is a pretty wide village. You have to buy your house before you can have one because obviously capitalism. So I'm just looking for that now. I might have ran past it earlier when it was dark out. Oh, there it is. So this is the slanty shanty, which is where you will be able to settle down if you so choose to live in the pig villages. It costs 50 oinks, which are these, and most things you trade or tasks you do will net you 1 oink. Like again, I just picked up her poop and she gave me an oink for it. So now that I know where I'd like to live, I need to get Abigail soon. So I know where I want to live. The next goal for me is going to be making a science machine. And I'll just put that on the lot where our house is. well, where our house will be when I can afford it. And that way we can create clippers and start to actually make some oinks. We need flint though first. And while we're on the lookout for flint, I will attempt to spawn Abigail. And it looks like we've potentially gotten it. I need to get this bunny out of the way a little bit more so I can see better. Oh no. Oh no, okay. I don't know if by the time we kill it, it'll be close enough to Abigail, so we'll see. Because I believe you have to leave Abigail out for her to spawn. I don't think she can be in your inventory. I could definitely be wrong though. These poor bunnies are not very smart. This is a very slow process, since I need it to stay near Abigail's flower. Oh, don't walk away. I tell ya, this is much harder bunny hunting than I was expecting. As I said, hunting bunnies this way, definitely not the ideal tactic. It's really slow. There we go. And we have Abigail now, a nice little ghost. Abigail is Wendy's twin, and I don't know what the confirmed backstory is for Wendy and Abigail, how Abigail died, but I know at least a lot of people believe that she killed her sister, that Wendy killed Abigail. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure if there's an official backstory for it. Alright, so we need some wood. And then I'm going to need to get more iron here soon so I can get those clippers and start getting money for our slanty shanty. Alright, that should be... Yep, that's everything for a science machine. And now to go collect some more iron. And as I had mentioned, there is a weather mechanic in the game. Lots of different types of weather. And it is raining right now, which isn't great. Rain and being wet in general deplete your stamina, not your stamina, your sanity. And sanity is relatively important in the game. So... yeah, we're gonna hopefully not be wet for too much longer. You can find, why am I trying to pick this up? You can find shelter, for example, if you, okay, is it working? Yep. So if you notice, the sound effect even changes. Right now, we're getting wet, we're in the rain, but if you stand under trees and get the tree cover, you will take a lot less wetness than you would outside of a tree. However, we're not gonna, the rain usually lasts a while, so I'm not super interested in waiting it out, but I might have to now. Because the rain will deplete your torches a lot faster. As you can see, my torch is going down really fast anyway, so we're going to light that guy on fire. That's just a little tip for if you're really struggling with keeping it light outside, keeping enough light around, and your torches are dying really fast. You can set an object on fire or a small group of objects like these, and they will burn for a little while and offer you some light. They might potentially burn down like a forest or something, so you need to be careful with it, but it works pretty well. And it gives you a much higher light radius than a regular torch does anyway. And there we go, we survived the night. Alright, so if you notice over here, my sanity is starting to get a lot lower. Part of that is summoning Abigail. She takes a bit of energy to summon. Not energy, sanity, that's the word. And again, the rain drains your sanity. Nighttime drains your sanity just in general. So that's something we need to pay attention to. The screen will start to get more washed out, and eventually there'll be little things around the sides and corners of the screen. Oops. Okay, so that was unintentional, but that's what happens if you get a little too close to a thunderbird's nest. They will shock you, not for a ton of damage or anything, and then they'll run away and you can loot their nest if you want to. So that part's nice. We have more than enough iron at this point. I have a slightly addictive personality and am struggling to stop collecting it. Alright, so now the goal is to head back. Oh, I guess I can show you why I like Abigail so much. Abigail will attack enemies for you. You can kind of help her out. Also, Abigail's... Oops, I did not mean to grab that guy. But yeah, she can fight big groups of enemies, which is great. I like how that little foxy guy is helping out. I don't really know why he's helping, but he's helping. We're gonna eat this really quickly. And probably eat these. My hunger's pretty low. But if you notice, those different... Oh, I can't let this thing die. I feel bad. There, Abigail will fix it. I don't know why this little guy is just suddenly helping us out. But, okay. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I really like Abigail. I'm not very good at the combat myself, so having that support from Abigail is pretty useful. And Abigail is able to stun lock enemies, which is one of the things that makes her stronger as a fighter. Also, guards will help kill things, which is great. Abigail and the guard will maybe kill it. But if you notice, she stun locks enemies, so it makes it harder for them to retaliate attacks against her. And she can fight multiple enemies at once. She has an AoE attack. In regular Don't Starve, she was just a spider killing machine. She could have like 5 spiders all on her and she'd be attacking them all simultaneously and doing pretty decent damage. And you can heal Abigail, like you can heal yourself, but unlike you, she regenerates health, which is helpful. Alright, gotta find the slanty shanty again real quick. There it is. And we will create a science machine. We need to drop something. My inventory is way too full. And having a science machine allows us to craft all of these fun new things. But before we begin creating some more stuff, I think we are going to end this episode here. I hope you guys enjoy it because, again, I adore Don't Starve. It's one of my favorite games of all time. and I'm excited to play more of it. So when we pick back up, we will be hopefully getting a house pretty soon, or at least working on getting the money for it. So again, thanks for watching.